Hello and welcome back to the Villa View for another video. Now, a few weeks ago, Dan did a Q&A where he answered various questions from all our social media channels that you sent in, and I'm going to be doing the same today, taking questions from across the board. So let's get into it. First question from _JXSH22. I'm assuming your name's Josh. You've said best and worst signing for this season. For me, the best signing has to be Jonathan Kodjia. I think it's a tough one though, because someone like James Chest has been an influential figure in stabilising what was a really shaky defence actually before he came in during the summer, so I thought he was a really important signing for us. And then as well, Jonathan Kodjia's provided all the goals this season. Without him, I think we'd be in some real trouble. So for me, it has to be one of those two that has been our signing of the season. As for our worst signing, I think it has to be Ross McCormack. I know that he might have his own demons, but he's got to be doing a lot better for us. To spend £12 million on a player and for him to be playing the way he is, I think we've been truly ripped off by Fulham. So for me, he has been our worst signing this season. Jack, obviously from Tottenham Norwich City, said, what is my favourite mug to drink hot beverages from? Well, Jack, as it so happens, it is the Breakfast with TNC mug that I bought off you. It's a great little mug. I'm going to put a picture there so you can see it. I quite like that mug. Supporting of the fan channels as well, so happy to drink my cup of tea out of that. It's actually in the washer this morning after I used it earlier on today. Rydog93 has said, should Gabby get a new contract? The short answer for this is no. Gabby hasn't done enough for me to earn a contract whatsoever, and he's going to take a lot to do that. He may have popped it with a derby goal, and he may be this influential figure in the dressing room, so to speak, but for me, he hasn't done enough to deserve a new contract, and the money that Gabby is on is a ridiculous sum of money for a player in the Championship, in a team that has got much better strikers. When we've got a fully fit strike force, I'd argue that he is 4th or 5th choice striker. Now, do you really want to be keeping hold of a player that's on around 60 grand a week to be playing as a 4th or 5th choice striker? No. The answer is simple as that. I don't think he's done enough for me. I think his attitude still is a problem, despite obviously coming in at 8:30 to train before the Birmingham City game and all that, but I think that it is time for Gabby to go. So now we're on to Twitter questions. Obviously a lot more questions have come in from Twitter, so I think I've picked about 15 or so to go through. Some are amusing, some more serious, so I'm going to answer them. First from Max is best fan cams moment. This is one that I've had to think about when I saw the question come in. I've been thinking ever since, what is the best fan cams moment for me? And I think that it could be Birmingham City last weekend. Obviously, I wasn't there myself for that, but the scenes were incredible there, and everything about it was incredible. The way that the fans came over to Dan and chanted and everything else. But from memory of games that I've actually been to and I've done, there's a few that stand out for me. I think one of them is towards the back end of last season, Newcastle, where the fans were in a party atmosphere. Obviously, it wasn't a great time for us at the time, but the fan cams in general, though, I just really enjoyed. I thought it was a really good day.
Smalley, fine, you're paying over. You think you're funny, aren't you?
Another fan cams moment that I loved was when it was at Fulham away the other week. We had interviewed a Danish guy called Kasper. This guy had travelled from Denmark to come and watch Villa play, and it means so much to me, Dan, when we get guys from far away coming to us and going, oh, I watch your videos from Denmark or the USA. Those moments mean a lot to us because we're never expected to have an international reach for people, but knowing that people in Denmark love our stuff is, it's beyond me. I didn't even think it'd be possible. So to meet people from places far away that come to games and then come to speak to us at fan cams, those moments are the ones that I think are the best moments for me. Question from Jason Price. Jason was one of the guys that played in our game at Villa Park, and he's asked, what is the perfect amount of jumps to do prior to taking a penalty? The answer to this question is none, Jason. Don't do any jumps before a penalty, because the chances are your penalty will end over the crossbar at Villa Park. Swiftly moving on, Murph has asked, why is Alan Hutton so good? If you don't know Murph on Twitter, Murph is a guy that absolutely loves Alan Hutton. He's always supported him. He's obviously took this in a joking way, but I want to take this more serious angle. For me, Alan Hutton has been brilliant since January onwards. There's been something about his performances that have really gripped me and amazed me for so many reasons. He's transformed himself. Back in December, previously to that, he was a guy that was out of position 9 out of 10 times. He's now 3 out of 10 times he's out of position. Has improved his positioning a lot. For a guy that's in his 30s now, to improve your positioning, it says a lot about your character. I think his attitude's been outstanding. I'm never going to fault his attitude. I think he's a moral pro in that sense that he was in the bomb squad, but he's forced his way back into the first team contention. And in the summer, I expected him to be dropping way down the pecking order when Richie Delac came in. Obviously, Delac got injured, which meant that Alan Hutton got his game time, but still with no pressure. Going into January, we signed James Bree, and from then onwards, he's been a different player. He has been like the Scottish Cafu. I'm not joking here. He's been such an influential player in that team when driving the team forwards in terms of creating chances, and also defensively as well. His commitment has been great. I think he's been brilliant recently. I hold my hat off to him. What has happened is asked, what is my favourite manager? Now, at the age of 20, I've obviously witnessed a lot of terrible moments for Aston Villa. I've not witnessed many great moments. And some of the best memories for me was under Martin O'Neill, because we were a great side then. It was one of the sides that, growing up, I looked up to the likes of Olaf Melberg, Wilfred Baumer, Martin Larsson. I used to play in Sunday League as a centre-back and a left-back, so for me, growing up and watching the likes of Gareth Barry, a left-footed player, the likes of Wilfred Baumer, Martin Larsson and Olaf Melberg, all these players that are role models for me. I love the way he played football with this sort of approach of absorbing pressure and using the counter-attack well. He was one of the greatest for me at the time, was using the counter-attack, and for me, I witnessed going to the Carling Cup final. I was there, an FA Cup semi-final, and UEFA Cup memories as well. There's so many memories I've got from that period of time, playing Ajax and beating them, Sparta Prague, these big teams in Europe, CSK in Moscow. Seeing all these teams at Villa Park, there's genuinely not a better memory for me as a Villa fan so far in life than that. So for me, Martin O'Neill is my favourite ever manager, and also possibly my least favourite as well, to a degree as well. A guy called Mr. Bardell has tweeted in saying, what do you think you can improve on as a presenter? What bit of Dan's presenting style would you like to have? Asking for a friend. I wouldn't like to have any of Dan's presenting style, to be honest, because Dan is Dan and I am Matt, and I think that's why it works so well. Genuinely, I think that me and Dan work really well together because we've both got different sides to us, and it combats quite well. Like, we agree on certain things, but I think we're both quite measured as Villa fans go. I know it can be weird to say it, but as Villa fans, we are quite trying to be measured. We could be quite rash about things, but we are quite measured as two individuals, and we try to be measured with our approach towards things. Genuinely though, as a presenter, I'd love to improve on the word range I use, because sometimes I do repeat myself, I'll be honest. To be measured, quite measured. Joseph 200307 has said, would you let Blackburn beat us to let Blues go down? Short answer, no, I wouldn't. Like, genuinely, I'm a winner and I want to win. I'm a bit stubborn when it comes to that. I'd never want to see Villa lose, and I'd never want us to go into a game and see us lose it just so a team could get relegated. All I want to do is see Villa win, and yes, it's a dead rubber game for us, but for me, I want to see us win. It's as simple as that. I can't go out there and think, we should lose so Blues can get relegated. I don't want that. I'll always laugh at a rival's demise, but on a serious note, I don't want them to go down, because genuinely, it would be bad for Midlands football. Christian's asked two questions, one being my favourite ever Villa kit, and one being favourite cereal. Favourite Villa kit, there's been a few over time that I've quite liked. It's got to be the 2010 kit. I don't know what it was about it, but I just quite liked it. Stan Petrov, there's a really nice photo of Stan wearing that shirt when we beat Chelsea. But for me, the shirt, I really liked it. I like the checkered bit on it. I like the checkered socks as well. There's something about that kit I liked. I think the black away kit was really smart as well. And the home kit looked really smart as well. It was a night kit with the FX Pro logo on it. It looked quite neat and tidy. As for favourite cereal, it's got to be Frosted Shreddies. I love a load of Frosted Shreddies. Bosch goes the milk. Bosch a bit more sugar on the top than Bob's your uncle. Smashing breakfast when it comes to cereal. Classy Henry's asked, who do you think our summer targets will be? First of all, goalkeeper. We plainly do need a goalkeeper. I don't think it's ever been so obvious. And it could be quite easy to say, let's sign Sam Johnston because he's been a good keeper in recent months. For me, we need an experienced pro, and that's why I'd go for Alan McGregor. He's currently on loan at Cardiff City. Steve Bruce has got a past of working with him at Hull City. So I'd love to see So for me, I'd love Alan McGregor at Villa Park, because experienced pro, an old head, and one that we need in goal. We need another keeper there that's got a bit more experience, because Mark Bunn is a second string goalkeeper. He isn't going to be a number one goalkeeper. Next question's coming from Dean AVFC. He said, is the core of the current squad strong enough to win promotion next season, or is another busy transfer window needed? I don't think it's a busy transfer window that's needed. I think it's a busy pre-season in terms of we have to try out different systems, because we haven't found a system yet that I think that will win us promotion. I think we've been winning games, but I don't think we've been winning them comfortably enough for that to be a position to be in next season tactically. I think that the squad is there in its core to win games and to get promoted, but for me, I think we need that cutting edge, as I've touched on, in terms of signing players. I think we do need a more solid goalkeeper. I think we do need to add more depth to the midfield and up front. I just genuinely think we need more depth, because you need a big squad. You look at Newcastle's squad, they've had a big squad to rotate from, and if you've got a big squad, it means the players will remain fresh, and you're keeping those players ready to play the next game when they're coming so thick and fast, especially over the periods during January, December, February, these points where you're playing on a Tuesday night and a Saturday afternoon as well. So we need more depth as well. So for me, signing squad players will be important in the summer, but also looking to shift out some of the higher earners that are still at the club, like Mick Richards, for example. Jack Mark here said, who's my favourite Villa player? Milianak. Without a shadow of a doubt, I think he's a brilliant professional. I think we got an absolute bargain when we signed him, and he's been brilliant for us. I think that he sits really well in that midfield, sitting up deep, clearing the mess and doing something with it. I think he's been a brilliant player for us, and I really do like the way he goes about his play. So I've answered many questions there. I'm really sorry that we haven't managed to answer all of them. There's still a few that I've missed on Twitter, on Instagram, and then YouTube. We've not actually get any chance to ask for questions from yourselves. So get your comments below, and I'll try and answer as many of them as we can. Dan and I and the other Dan will try and answer as many of the questions that you still have remaining in the comments section below. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do drop us that like below and subscribe your post notifications on to the Villa View if you are new to the channel. We've hit 7,000 subscribers. I never, ever imagined in a million years we'd ever reach such a huge milestone. To reach 7,000 subscribers is mind-blowing and absolutely crazy, so I can't thank every single one of you that's subscribing to the channel enough. It's amazing to think that. So thank you so much for subscribing as well. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.